for internet. It's not easy life on the tour when you're looking for a place that you've got some internet. So I'm actually at somebody's desk down at the reception of the hotel. So if somebody comes up and tells me off, that's all part and parcel of live shows, I guess. And as ever, our podcast lives from Grand Slams brought to us by Novellis. Big shout out to Novellis for all the support that they give the podcast, and also Soto Tennis Academy. And what a day! Where to start? I guess there's one place to start, right, and one place only, and that is get your messages in, get your questions in. And I'm sure people are going to be wanting to be speaking about Jannik Sinner. We've talked about it for a long time now. There's gonna come a time. There's going to come a time where there's a Grand Slam that isn't won by Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner on the men's side. And it feels like it was never not going to happen, right? They were always, they've been in the final of the last 9 Grand Slams. Some people say it's boring. I certainly did on our preview say that it was boring that Jannik Sinner was winning. I didn't say it was boring about Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz and their rivalry. But now it's blown open, here at Roland Garros. That's all anyone has been talking about. And a big welcome to Freddie Nielsen, who has joined us. Fred, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was talking to myself. I forget that there's people that actually listen to this, so I was just kind of talking away to myself, sweating. I didn't mention that bit, sweating in the Paris reception area. As I was saying, Wi-Fi, live shows. This is what
You're back.
This is what happens.
I didn't hear much in sweaty French receptions.
just the receptions. Just running around hotels trying to get onto a Wi-Fi that works. The hotel hasn't been too clever on that front, and nor is the air conditioning. And obviously I guess the talk of the town, Freddie. I know you've been working a lot of the day, but talk of the town, Jannik Sinner, he's out. We will have a different men's champion than Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Give us your initial thoughts.
I'm in genuine shock. Like, I cannot believe that happened. You totally called it on the preview, and when you guys were talking about it, I was kind of thinking, it's the same old story. It's just a fun thing to talk about. Surely it can't continue to happen because he gets older, he'll learn, he'll improve. And here we are again. I mean, I'm in genuine shock, and not to mention the actual scoreline, huh?
Well, I mean, look, I was at John Bois. No, I wasn't. I was at the Annex, which are the practice courts across the road, getting ready for. I had a bit of a bizarre one today because I had Andre Goranson, I started working with a few weeks ago. He was partnered with Aaron Routliffe, who I used to work with, playing against then Luisa Stefani, who I'm now a part of the team of this year, and Marcelo Aravello. So I had their 2-match warm-ups back to back, which was a bit odd. But I then went inside, and it was 6-3, 6-2, 5-1.
Exactly, that's what I mean. If you can get to that point, surely you can finish it. But maybe the mental, you see you've been struggling, you see the finish line, you just want to get over it, you forget the process. But still, I genuinely cannot believe that happened. And also, in a no disrespect to Cerundolo at all, but there's a genuine mismatch in level there as well. Yeah, I'm completely perplexed.
But he from that point, he actually lost 18 points in a row. So from that moment, 18 points in a row went to Cerundolo. It was,
and then an injury time at 5-4, 40, love 40, like
just kind of just and he kind of just walked off court.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk off court. Nobody really knew what was happening. It was just like, what the hell's going on? And then it was like some people were, because then all of a sudden, as you can imagine at these events, people start to kind of swarm around the TVs. And then someone was going, oh, he should just throw this set. I was like, what are you talking about? It's 5-all. Like 5-all's a lot closer to winning than love all. Like to win a full set, and then it just seemed to go on. And I guess, and I'm sure your knowledge is very good. I'm sure you know this. He's played 9 5-set matches in his life before today. And do you know what his record was?
It's probably 1-8, and I think last year, didn't it say when he was serving for it? I think a stat came up in the box. He's never won a match that's been longer than 2 hours and 51 or something, or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact.
So it's 1-8. So this is, I guess, to go back to your point when we were talking about it on the preview. I guess sometimes we start thinking these players are superhuman, right? Because what they're achieving is so incredible. I use the word boring, no disrespect to Jannik Sinner. That's how I was finding men's tennis. Yet the superhuman qualities don't really exist, right? They're all human. They've all got their kryptonite, and he clearly has a kryptonite with the heat. But I think probably the bigger one for me, because he said in his press conference afterwards, he said, I woke up this morning and I just felt empty. I felt like I'd run out of energy. Now, go figure, I guess. Hey, go figure. You've won Indian Wells, you've then won Miami, you've then taken a week off. I remember Alcaraz saying he was really surprised that he was playing Monte Carlo. He then played Monte Carlo, won all of these events, then took another week before he then won Madrid. Then he went and played Rome, where we saw that he had some, whether it was anxiety attacks, some challenges. He overplayed without a shadow of a doubt, and that was kind of a little inkling I had in my head, that on top of the heat, on top of the fact that he isn't superhuman, he is a human being. And kaboom, we now have a tournament. I'm excited now.
I think it's also because back in the day of the dominance of Federer, Djoko, and Rafa, we wouldn't see these kind of collapses in the same way. I feel like if they were genuinely injured and it pulled out, but so I think it's also we grew kind of accustomed to just seeing superhuman performances, right?
Yeah, we did.
The level of consistency was outrageous, and it is a lot, and there's a lot more scrutiny. There's a lot of social media interest. You mentioned Monte Carlo. I don't know if he has some kind. I mean, it's obviously in Monte Carlo, but it's basically in Italy. I don't know if he felt some sort of connection because it's kind of an Italian tournament, because a lot of people come over from Italy. But I'm still perplexed. I'm still genuinely perplexed. But maybe it is too much, to handle, and it just gets bottled up, especially if you don't have an outlet as well. We really don't know much about him, what he does outside the court or whatnot, and maybe it's like you said, it finally caught up to him.
And he deserves, Cerundolo deserves some credit as well, right? Difficult scenario for him, difficult situation. He knows. I just left the site there a few minutes ago, and he was just kind of eating away. No one's talking to him. He's with just one team member, very kind of away from it all. And he's in this position now where he can beat the unbeatable player, or so we're starting to think. And fair play to him for also just kind of taking care of that business as well without too much fuss in the end.
Yeah, and no fuss afterwards. He just came out and said, "Whoa, I was lucky, but hey, I'll take it," kind of thing. Very underplayed, and I mean,
it was a nice response when he won, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Very sympathetic, and definitely a lot of credit to him. it's a cliche, but those kind of scenarios are also always difficult, and even more so when you're facing the number one in the world. It's a peculiar scenario. You can be thinking, what's going on here? He's just leaving the court at 40 love, and yeah, he didn't really flinch. Maybe it is easier to deal with if you are playing the number one in the world, where instead of somebody where it's even Steven, and you're just kind of with house money anyway. But yeah, no doubt about it. He did very well.
So come on then. Now we've got the draw wide open. We talked about it beforehand. It's what we needed, right? It's what we wanted. You know, it's what men's tennis needed. I'm looking through the draw now, and it's like, wow, like
Honestly, I'm so anyone can win this now. I feel like if it no
yeah.
matter who wins it, I'm like sure. It's unbelievable. I mean, Novak must be really licking his lips at the thought of this still being around, but I think it's very likely we're going to see a new first time winner. I mean, it's
Well, Novak. I mean, let's start there. Novak actually is in the one what you would call difficult in names. You know, he plays Fonseca tomorrow.
yes, very
And,
difficult.
and if he wins, he's then in the part where he could potentially play Casper Ruud or Tommy Paul next, which would be last 16. So we could have a Casper Ruud, Novak Djokovic last 16. And we spoke about Casper Ruud beforehand. You know, he's kind of gone under the radar a little bit in terms of it. I think in terms of the favourite on paper has to be Alexander Zverev. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
has he got the bottle? You know, we look at his draw. You know, I know I'll get his name wrong, but Quentin Hallis next, and then potentially Kachanov, and then potentially in the quarterfinals, it would be one of Mickelson, Jodar, Tarante, and Carreno Busta. So we could be talking about Jodar against Zverev in the quarters. You know, we could be then. Demon Nua's not done anything yet, really. He beat Toby Samuel, fantastic effort qualifying, but beat him first round. Then he got his walkover and against Alex Block. And then he's playing a Mensik who probably can't stand today after what happened yesterday. You know, someone who's not in form. And so you could potentially be looking at a De Minaur Rublev fourth round. You know, Rublev hasn't done much either for a long time. One of those guys could then be in the quarterfinals. Or maybe Nuno Borges, who's playing against Rublev. Don't be surprised if he comes through that section. You know, it's kind of wide open. It feels. Who then? Before we completely, I'll pass it over to you. Actually, I'm going to pass it over to you now, Freddie, because we'll come to the young Kouame afterwards, because I think he deserves after today as well. That was incredible. That had the whole player restaurant around that, you know.
Yeah, and I like
about that.
I said on the thread, how could we have forgotten to mention him? I mean, that's an oversight on our part. I have to say.
It is. Me and Calvin spoke about him for about 10 minutes the other night. We did a live, but yeah, the fact that in the preview we didn't bring him up because, I mean, he's the
just the fact that he's there on a wild card and he's been competing well leading up is amazing, and now he's doing this. I mean, yeah, like I said, I've been working all day, so I haven't been able to watch much. But I read that he pulled out at second surveys 220 up the tee or something at 7-all.
He literally. So what happened was, so I was watching. An incredible game, like probably like 12 juices at 5-all. Incredible game, where he didn't break. Then he held. Then he went 6-1 up in the tiebreak. And then he fully blacked out. He just, you know, like when you're watching a player and you're like, oh no, he is brain farting left, right, and center. He must have played 3 drop shots in between 6-1 and 6-all, which were like, oh no, what's he doing? Oh no, what's he doing? Why is he drop shotting there? What's he doing? Why is he doing that? Oh no, and you could see. And then when he changed ends, he didn't have a drink. And you thought, oh no, the kid's lost it. He's gone. He's
right.
gone. And then he went 7-6 down, I think, and went kick serve wide, serve volley, 228 for 8-7. And you were like, and then it went to 8-all, and then he hit a ridiculous running passing shot on the forehand, and then he went serve volley again, 9-8. Not a great volley, but one of those volleys that almost, because it was such a bad volley, it was a good volley.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of died a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll lose. In my opinion, I think he'll lose his next match. He plays against a guy who I actually think can seriously play, Tabilo.
Oh, 100%.
That boy, he's like.
But he seems like a bit of a moody player, you know. When he's on, he's very good, and then he kind of goes off a little bit.
But in that section, Freddie, like let's say Tabilo or Kwame, the winner of that will play Felix, or Nakashima. Yes. I think is just about to win in the 5th set. You know, you'd favour maybe Tabilo to come out of that quarter.
I still think it's on Felix to lose. I'd back Felix. Yeah, I'll back Felix against him in a slam.
Right, so top half. This is what we're going to do. You're gonna pick who comes out of the top half. Right, listen to this. We've got Cerundolo, the giant killer, against Landaluth. We've then got Berrettini against Comasana. We've got Faria, Portuguese, against Tiafoe. We've got Arnaldi or Tsitsipas are currently playing. Arnaldi's 2 sets to 1 up to play against Collignon, who beat Ben Shelton this evening. We've got Felix, Nakashima, Kwame, or Tabilo. One of them will be a Roland Garros finalist come Sunday.
That's why, like I said in the beginning, if anybody goes deep or wins, I'll be sure I'm in for the ride now. Now it seems like the Wild West, and I think everybody will be thinking they have a chance. I still think it's Felix's to lose this spot.
On clay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like the other. I mean, what other clay cats are there?
I'm gonna go out on a whim and say Landaluth.
I don't think he's quite developed physically enough to go that deep. That's where I think like the other clay players, they're not. I mean, I think Landaluth is just too young yet, and Berrettini is too fragile physically.
Landaluth against Tabilo in the semifinals. I mean,
I quite like Arnaldi, though. He seems like he found something. He just won the big challenger in Sardinia, and it feels like he turned it around. I thought he was going to progress and do a lot of good things after he did well in Davis Cup when they won it, but he didn't really progress. But now, yeah, I'm still picking Felix to make the final here in this section. But
Arnaldi 2 sets to 1 up and 4-2 up on Tsitsipas as we speak.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting what's going on in this tournament.
It's amazing, and it's exactly, I think, what men's tennis needed, right? I think it is exactly what it needed. I think there's a chance. Give me a pick. My pick, I think Zverev is going to do it.
Yeah, me too. I also think sneaky under the radar good player is the other Cerundolo. I very much like his game. I think he can be dangerous against everybody. But yeah, I think it's Zverev's now. Zverev Felix is my call for the final. I mean, Mike was very big on Hoda, so
he was.
If the metrics speak for him, well, how can you defy the metrics? But for me,
it would be a quarter. It would be a quarterfinal with Zverev if they get there.
Yeah.
And you know that's what we'd be looking at.
Exactly.
Yeah, exciting times. Now, look, we have to. I don't want to. It's not going to be a long live. We had to jump on this evening. Anyone does have any questions, please send the questions in. But I think we have to talk
I'm
about it.
gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back just for fun. I'm gonna pick Cerundolo to make the final. He's top half, right?
Cerundolo is which one?
Francisco.
He is no. I think is he top half or bottom half? He's top half.
Yeah,
Is he top half?
I think he's top half.
Yes, he would be in. You've also got Caboli.
Yeah, who
Caboli
goes a
is
little bit under the radar, but for fun, I'm gonna pick Cerundolo. Koboli, good shout too, but I still feel a little too inconsistent. Although he's got a high top, I
what
like
about
Cerundolo.
what about Cerundolo versus Cerundolo in the semis?
That would be a good story.
Hey, how would that be? Huh?
I think the fact that we're just talking here and we're reeling off names and we can make a case for basically everybody in the
We
draw is
can.
quite fun.
It
It's
is.
quite fun.
It's fun, and you know what? And it was actually I was with a couple of players today on the women's side on the women's doubles players, and I won't say names because it's not for me to say that, but they were like, "We will be there for the quarterfinals onwards of the men's singles. We will have our popcorn. We will be there." Because I think there's this feeling of like this is the chance. When you're
100%.
playing, four slams a year, but this is like the legit chance for your Cerundolos. Maybe the only chance, right? There's every now and then. Thomas Johansson won Australian Open all of those years ago. Every now and then you have these years or these events, but it might happen where it's a player like that gets it once in their career almost, where this could be
The
one.
Martin Verkerk.
Exactly.
That's exactly why it's fun.
And that's what we're looking at now.
We're starting to get to that territory. My wife, she has, I don't know if I told this on the podcast, she has a great idea. She hates seedings. She wants the tournaments to be without seedings completely.
FA Cup.
Yeah, exactly the FA Cup. She just wants the Wild West, and we're getting into that territory now.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at. I think she's a smart lady. Maybe a bit stupid marrying you, but she's smart.
Hey, they can't all be perfect, right?
and look, we don't have. I mean, we obviously have big news yesterday since we last spoke. Rebecca went out.
Great shout by me. Great shout by me. What is she doing?
Was she your pick?
She was my pick to win it.
Wow. Okay. Right.
So I mean, you guys were ridiculing me for that pick, but I thought that was come back with egg on your face. But look at me with double egg and a little poached egg on the side on my face.
And wasn't who mentioned Pegula? Did we have a Pegula mention as well?
I think that was Candy.
Candy, and I think we all went no.
Yeah, but that was a shocker too.
Not on clay. I mean, the Kim Birrell who's a lovely girl. Big shout out. It was her first tour level or above win in literally or second maybe ever.
Yeah.
Like she just hadn't had. I mean, she's a good player. She's a decent player. She's a good doubles player. She's she can do different things, but to beat the number 5 in the world was amazing for her. She went and lost 7-6 in the third tonight or earlier today. We've had Eva Jovic, who I know we've mentioned quite a bit.
She was my dark horse. But now that we mentioned Candy, she did mention Serrana as a dark horse. Her draw opened up a lot as well, huh? That bottom half of the women's draw is also
she mentioned
quite open now. Sorana Kistea.
She did, yeah. So she's flying through. We've got Sierra. Sierra, who was my dark horse pick, who was unseeded, who people didn't even know. I'm not sure Candy even knew her. She beat Emma Raducanu and Jasmine Paolini, and she now plays Sorana Castilla. And that is pretty open right now. Haley Baptiste, I hope she's okay. I'm hearing she could be out for the year. With her,
I read there was confirmed ACL and meniscus.
Is it confirmed?
I'm not gonna don't shoot the messenger, but that's what I believe I read. That's such a shame.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I wishing her a speedy recovery. But there, yeah, when you start looking at it like that, yeah, you actually in that bottom half, you start looking at like Mira Andreeva has a real shot of going through. You'd think to the semi-finals, in that part of the draw as well. Today there was the standouts today on the women's side. I'm not sure there was big standouts. To be honest, I think there was 2 matches today. There was 2 really at Roland Garros. There was 2 matches, both of them 5-set matches, but it was really Jannik Sinner and Kwame that they took over. It was nice to see Colin Young. After he beat Ben Shelton, Ben Shelton's struggling, huh? He's not. We thought that he was, but he just doesn't seem to be doing it.
Yeah, I actually saw it. He won Munich, right? So I thought he might be able to take advantage of that too. But I've always kind of expected a little bit from Colin Young. I think he's so good.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's very good. And he was crying his eyes out. The crowd were going crazy. It's been nice today. It's the whole crowd. I mean, it's been. You can hear that you can hear the cheers everywhere wherever you are. That's one thing I have to say. Being here, like I've been really impressed. A couple of years ago, I felt like there was a lot of booing was happening. It was like all the courts. There was just like boo, but whereas it feels like there's been a really energetic crowd this year. Maybe everyone's enjoying the sunshine, and getting. I've seen a couple of people being carried out with the heat as well. So we'll see what the next few days holds, Freddie. But thanks for jumping on. Anyone you're looking forward to tomorrow? I don't know if you've seen any of the order of play for tomorrow, but any standout matches for you in the order of play for tomorrow?
I mean, the one that stands out is the Fonseca against the Djokovic match, of course. The up and coming against the big star of yesteryear. Does he still have it? And then
3:30 p.m. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. Djokovic has requested that. I've been told reliable sources that Djokovic is requesting day matches because he played on Sunday night against Pesci Perikar, and apparently had big issues sleeping afterwards. It just was like, nope, don't want the night match anymore. And he's requested the last 2 times day matches. So that's going to be a day match, which, if it's like it was today and like it was the last 2-3 days, you'd think that the heat's going to come into that as well.
Absolutely, it will. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody deals with that. It feels like, I don't know, I mean, I've seen obviously a lot of people cramping the last few days and whatnot, but Sinner coming out saying the heat didn't feel too bad to play in. It gives me a little bit of thinking that it might be okay. But I'm thinking more in terms of ball's going to be flying, and that could be in Fonseca's advantage because it's going to get a little more pop out there.
Yeah. We've got Iga Swiatek plays against Magda Linette, her fellow countrywoman, who actually won their last match. But who did Magda Linette beat in the last round?
I am not on top of that. Sorry.
Yelena Ostapenko. So that would have been.
Swansea will be thrilled about that.
She was over the moon, I'm sure. That was going to be a 3rd round battle of Ostapenko and Swiatek, which I think is 6-0 Ostapenko. So I'm sure I expect that Swiatek will relax into that, thinking, thank God this is not Ostapenko on the other side of the net. And even though she's lost to Magda Linette the last time that she played, I expect her to take care of business. Casper Ruud, Tommy Paul. Could be an interesting one. I feel like they're two just solid dudes who will go at it. You'd expect Casper to probably take that one, but could be a decent match tomorrow night on Suzanne Longlong.
That could definitely be a decent match. I think if I had to pick one, I would rather watch Hodar against Mikkelsen just because it's something new and different.
How good's Mikkelsen, do you think?
I think he's a potential top 10er. I don't think he's quite good enough to compete for slams, but maybe he'll take a great development. He seems like he's very competent on all the surfaces. He seems like he has a great attitude. Seems like he travels well. Hired some interesting coaches. Isn't he with Fliegen? Christoph Fliegen?
With Fliegen.
So, who's I think is a very accomplished coach. Very interesting decision from an American. So, I like everything I see from him. He has a pretty solid game all around. I think he can give everybody a good match on the day, and that's also why I think he seems like a good attitude. I quite like what I've seen from him so far.
And talking of coaches, my last little story here from Paris. Davidovich Fokina.
Yeah, I saw
that. Coached by the former, not champion, Puerta win French Open or final?
No, he was in the final the first year Rafa won it.
Right, so Puerta was made the finalist, coached by Mariano Puerta. And I guess as the story goes, I mean, obviously I'm not close to the story, but because the story seems to go, basically, they've had a bit of an argument on the court, and after he's played his first round match, Mariano Puerta's just got out of there, sent Davidovich a long message, sent his wife a long message, and then blocked them, and then jumped on a flight, headed back to Miami, and has been putting kind of some mysterious kind of Instagram posts up talking about no one else has got the balls to do this, and whatever it might be. What can you tell us about that, Freddie? And is this normal behavior for Mariano Puerta? I guess he was playing when you were playing.
I don't know him at all because I was not very good when he played, and he was obviously very good. Also, factually speaking, he's got a questionable history, right? Yeah. Did he not have 2 doping suspensions where the last one was 8 years or something?
He also tried to steal my girlfriend in the juniors. Which
there you go. There you go. So very
did, you know.
Very dubious character. No. I think that's just weird behavior. I mean, that just proves you're in it for all the wrong things, and if you need to, if that were me, I think I like the fact that he's saying, I don't condone this behavior, and if it's going to be like this, I don't want to be part of it. But then you don't try to get a win out of it. If that were me, I would be so gone on the way back. I would be sad and angry and like, how did it come to this? Why do I have to do this? It's nothing that I wanted to celebrate or just professionally embarrass my player with it. And I don't know what player would want to kind of jump to let's get him on board with the stuff that goes on. So I kind of understand, and I think it's like the actual principle. I don't know the details of it, but if he feels that his principles have been or values have been overridden, and he can't stand for it, and he doesn't want to be part of that anymore and wants to go home, I have a lot of time for that. But then to make a show out of it and to big yourself up, that seems like it was for the wrong reasons. Then.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is someone a player like Davidovich. I think we've kind of been waiting for him to really come through, right? I mean, he's a serious player. He's a serious athlete. Like seeing him in Madrid, like in the warm-up area, it's like, my God, this guy is like an incredible athlete, strong as an ox. There's something obviously not quite right there, you know. And even you pick up little things around, even not that this means you can't do this, but just the way he was with a couple of the other players and messing around. And then he was doing this big thing in Madrid, actually, where they were like, the whole gym was like reverberating. It was like woo, 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 with his team like really shouting, right? And like,
yeah.
And one of the fitness coaches that is with one of my players was like, "Oh, he is ready. He is going to come out firing," and he lost 1 and 2. and he literally, and that was a match. I don't know if you remember in Madrid, but he just started moonballing.
No,
he was playing against Casper Ruud, and he lost 3-1, and he just started like fully like doing like under 10 moonballs.
Yeah,
like there's something he's lacking.
But there is something there. I've been on. I've coached against him 2 times. Both times came out firing. Played flawless, spectacular, basically uncountable tennis. Could do nothing about it. But you hang in there, kind of get something. You stay close, and then he left both times.
Really?
And it's just like. And it was 2 matches, one half where he was completely dominating and one half where he seemed like he lost belief and lost his way. And also I remember the match in Wimbledon against Holger where he all of a sudden served underhand serve and like very deep in the breaker, and also afterwards said, yeah, he couldn't explain it. He just basically, I think he literally said he shat his pants.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
So it seems like, yeah, it's from a tennis point of view, I feel like he could gain a little more on the forehand side, but it's not really that's holding him back.
Yeah, for sure. Right, we're heading out. There is no longer.
Just talk really quickly about the fact that there were 3 walkovers in the first round of doubles? Where are all the doubles players here looking for an opportunity?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of information that I found out today. So any doubles players listening, learn from this. There's a few things that are important here. So one, which me and Calvin spoke about the other night, they have a rule that's come back in place on the ATP this year where singles players can sign up for doubles but pull out of the event while still being in the singles and take half of the prize money. Okay. An issue. So there's our first issue. Because you have, and Calvin shared a story with us that Khachanov and Rublev, the multimillionaires of Khachanov and Rublev, did exactly that in Rome and withdrew and took their 3,000 euros each. Okay, so this is one of the issues that has to be addressed, because that's farcical, right? It's ridiculous.
Yes.
The second thing is, in order to be eligible to be an alternate, you have to have entered the tournament. So this is where guys, I mean, it dropped to like maybe 210. The last teams that got in were like combination of 210 world ranking. So some people just are, if people that are ranked like 140, 130, 150, they don't enter Grand Slams. Some people, in general, it's always worth entering is the lesson. The second one that I found out today of Henry Patton, actually, so it probably came from Calvin, is that you must have signed on day one to be an alternate. So if you didn't sign up to be an alternate on day one, then you can't then sign on a new day. So let's take today. Yesterday there was a walkover with Rajiv Ram, and I spoke to Rajiv, and Rajiv said, "No, I've never had." I said, "Hey, well done today, mate, cracking win." He went, "You know what, Dan?" He said, "You must be the 100th person that said that." He said, "I've never had so many congratulations in all my life for a match, and I haven't even played." And I said, well, yeah, because it feels like it's quite historic. It doesn't seem to happen. He said, well, I've been told it's the first time it's ever happened. I don't know if that's true.
First time that ever happened, what?
That where there was a walkover because there wasn't enough alternates.
That's not true, because I was just going to bring up the fact that it used to be that we talk about there was this one time in French Open that there was a walkover, and can you imagine? I'm fairly certain of it.
Okay, so I don't know any of this factually. This is Rajiv Ram fact. That's not Wikipedia factors, but so then you would then have
pretty
guys,
sure the year that Suarez and Vemic made a deep run that there was a walkover that year. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so then you would then have guys that if they have entered would have travelled, because the word was pretty strong that Andriossi was injured. I mean, Mate Pavic has played with a pretty swollen foot, not moving very well today, but got through his match. So he was another one rumoured to maybe be pulling out. But Andriossi did pull out. Apparently he's torn his abductor. And people that hadn't signed in on day one couldn't do it. And there was only, I think, 6 or 7 teams that signed in on day one. So once it went past 6 or 7, because one of my boys, Cleve Harper, was the 5th alternate at the start. I think he started as 6, and then Luke Johnson and Jan Zielinski pulled out just before. And fair play to those boys as well. You know, they could have turned up and taken their half prize money, you know,
Yes.
but they didn't, because they wanted to give someone else their spot, and that was the right thing to do, you know. And some of these top singles players could take a little little leaf out of their page out of their leaf out of their page. Oh my God, it's late. But that seems to be the story. It was, even though people knew there was probably 1 or 2 pulling out today, if they hadn't signed in on day one, then it was too late. So you better bet at Wimbledon and US Open, every man and their dog are going to enter the doubles, and everyone's going to sign in on day one. You know, they certainly should. Now, I go back to point 1, to have 10 teams pull out of a 64 team draw. Don't like it. And, you know, there's some genuine injuries there. You know, there's been, you know, definitely a couple of genuine injuries in there. But at the same time, there's probably quite a few of those pairs that knew that if they were going to win a round, they weren't with singles, they weren't going to play doubles. But so the rules need to change. The ATP need to do something about that, because that's not acceptable.
I agree, and it just gives the tournament loses credibility because of it.
Yeah, completely. So yeah, and I mean, I guess all will be forgotten once it gets into the next couple of rounds. But yeah, that seems to be the situation on the doubles side as well.
I also just don't understand it from the doubles guys. I mean, when I saw the list come out, I was like, okay, this is not a particularly strong entry list this year. Not many alternates signed in. Take a risk.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's an error. It's an error by. I mean, look, like you take British players, right? There'll be British players. I know British players rank right in around 100, 110, 120 in the world who weren't here, didn't enter.
Yeah.
Got to be in it to win it. Like buying a lottery card, you know what I mean? Except you've got more chance of winning the chance of getting into this event than you do the lottery, right? You've earned the ranking, you know. So stick your name down and see. So yeah, very interesting, but hopefully that doesn't detach from what I'm sure is going to be a great event. The doubles is only really getting going. You know, obviously round 2 starts tomorrow. Mixed doubles has started. A little side note, but the crowds have been amazing for the doubles. You know, for like my boys' match the other day was packed court 13, amazing, and that's not, you know, Andre Goranson and Evan King. I'm not convinced crowd pullers are name like household names, right? So it's as Matos and Lusant as well, but it's the atmosphere has been amazing around the grounds, and the doubles matches have been incredibly well supported. Long may that continue. I know when we get into week 2, most people just have tickets for the bigger courts, but so far I would say it's been a fantastic French Open. Being here, it's just the feeling of it, and I think the weather's played a big role of that. to put people a bit in maybe a better mood than the glum of the clouds and the drizzle that I know that the weather is changing come Sunday, Monday. It's still to be quite warm, but I think we're going to have a little bit more cloud cover and a little bit more rain. So we'll see how it develops over the next few days, Freddie.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, we got to take it while it lasts, right? We got to take the whatever we can get, and appreciate what we have.
Absolutely. So, but we'll maybe touch base in another couple of days and see how that men's singles draw is opening up, and who's starting to feel the nerves and starting to get a little bit tetchy, thinking, all of a sudden I'm like an Alexander Zverev. That's going to be interesting, right? Already he's no longer the hunter, right? He's
Absolutely.
he's going to be hunted, and we know that he has a decent opinion of himself, so maybe he's starting to have that protective mindset, and I guess tomorrow night we'll see him on Chatrier as the tournament favorite. So let's see how he deals with it.
Absolutely. And let me just put it out there that my shout with Vimic and Suarez was wrong, because they were the alternates that got in and made semifinals run. So maybe it was the first time in history. I just think it's important to fact check yourself.
Well,
I feel like there's a walkover somewhere, because we always used to talk about it as there was this one time where there was a walkover, and how can you not stay all the days? But I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna send it on the text.
Well, I'm
sure everybody are dying to know.
given your picks in the preview, Rybakina and Cole, it's not surprising you got this one wrong as well. Maybe you just need to move on to Wimbledon when it comes to your picks.
And even my dark horse Feast, he didn't even make it to start.
And Mikey James knew, huh? Mikey James knew. He had that little. And it's come out today that Serena Williams is also playing at Queen's, which I shared 3 days ago.
Which say again?
Serena Williams is going to be playing at Queen's this year.
Wow. I mean, obviously, when she re-entered the anti-doping situation, everybody knew it was going to happen, but it's still...
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is happening as well. Okay, guys, we will be back. But until next time, I'm Dan Kiernan. We are